Go ahead, Coach.
Thanks, AC. Well, I guess I'll start off like the other 126 other coaches in the country. They'll say how excited they are about this class. No, this is a class that I think has addresses our needs across the board. I think you know, we have a plan of how we want to do things. We've lost some very, very talented players offensively this year, and we've got to replace those. We've had a depth issue last year on defense. I think the first attempt for us this year was to address those needs from an offensive line standpoint, and our defensive front seven, really the complete defense. And we were able to really go out, our coaches, to do a great job of evaluation, number one, and then be able to establish relationships with those guys, and they really earn early commitments and hang on to them. I think for the second year in a row, you know, a year ago we signed 32, and we lost one of them. Only one of them didn't come into school at the time, and we lost him to the Minnesota Twins for $5 million. So everyone else, for the first time in my 26 years of coaching, out of those 32, 31, not only did we sign them, they were here and didn't go to other schools, didn't have to go to junior college. They were academically eligible qualifiers, and were good players. So a year ago, you look at the transition of the roster, you've got 85 scholarship players. That's over a third of your team. Last year were new. This year, their numbers are down, which says a couple things. Number one, that you don't have a lot of attrition, even with a couple guys turning pro early, and so the quality of your class as the numbers go down to be ranked where we are, I think that speaks volumes. If you look at any of the stuff that's on TV right now, in the top 10, 20 teams in the country recruiting, I think our numbers are drastically lower than the rest of those people. Some people signing up to 36 folks. And what that tells you is the quality of the guys, the evaluation of our coaches. It was this year at a high level. So across the board, you know, we branched out a little bit, probably for the first time since we've been here. You know, going out of state, obviously, to Arizona, Louisiana, some junior college situations, Pennsylvania, a number of other states that we probably hadn't been in before, but I think that speaks to our brand expanding east and west, and television exposure over the last couple of years. So, you know, these guys are, again, which is kind of a trend, I think, now more than ever. Many of these guys that were committed early began to communicate with each other and help recruit each other and help stay together. And so they really kind of created their own class. So, you know, the early commitment phase is something that a lot of people have different opinions about. It works for us, you know, and just like I said last year, you know, don't panic too soon. We just got to hang on to them. And I walked in the building this morning. ESPN was here 6 o'clock or so this morning, and they said, what was the goal? The goal was to have the guys that we had committed coming in the door this morning all signed today, and that's what happened. Anything other than that would have been icing on the cake, in my opinion. But you know, we were very, very pleased with this class.
All right, question. Right down front.
Kevin, what do you think it says about your program and where you guys are, the perception, when you're able to get a top-ranked player at this position from Arizona or from Louisiana? like out on the speed ball?
Well, you know, I think, you know, I was talking about that today. It's not one thing. There are a lot of factors that are involved in that. And I think, you know, right now, we've got a lot of momentum. I think that, you know, our administration has really supported this program in an unbelievable way. And I think recruits see that, you know, from the stadium to our weight room to the nutrition center to what's going on, the renovations in this building. There's just a tremendous amount of support. And so from the facilities aspect, it's appealing. We play an exciting brand of football. We're on television just about every week. Moving to the SEC it has given us another stage and has really expanded our footprint. You know, people think about it expanding east because of where we are and who we play against. I know for a fact with Quaylen and Kyle Allen that you know, us being the furthest west team in the SEC has also given us an appeal that way. So, you know, there are a number of factors that have brought us to this point, and it really is not one thing. I think it's a combination of a lot of things while you're trying to increase your brand, increase your profile, and increase, you know, where your program is nationally and to get there. And I think, you know, what people are seeing and what prospects are seeing is the trend of where we are and where we can be, and based on the commitment from the university to this program and, you know, the type of competitive games that we're in. And I've said it in a lot of people's homes, you know, we're a program that's trying to go from 8, 9, 10, 11 wins to 12, 13, 14 wins, and you know, talent makes a huge difference in that. And you look at the teams that are at that level. There's no coincidence that Florida State's where they are. You know, they've had top 5 recruiting classes, #1 classes over the last 4 years. You can see that on the field when they play. Auburn's coming off of its 4 years removed from a national championship class. So, you know, talent to get to that level, what we have to do is increase our depth, obviously, and then increase our talent level. And fortunately, you know, we're in a situation here where we have the resources and administration that is providing us with the type of facilities that we need to recruit and develop players, and I think they see that.
Far right.
There's about a quarter of your class is already here on campus, getting ready to go through drills and spring ball and everything. How big was that to get that many guys, 6 guys on campus this spring?
Well, it's big. You know, we started that last year. I think we had, I don't know what we had, 8 maybe last year, at least. When you guys were trying to figure out how everybody's accusing me of oversigning. Shame on you guys. We didn't know what we were doing. But, you know, that's more of a trend now than it used to be. You know, some guys are done with high school. They're ready to move on. This recruiting process has changed a lot, and it depends on where you are in the country. You know, early commitment, by the time, and you guys have seen the numbers right now with us, with working with 2015, but the early commitment phase has changed everything because of the fact that guys are just not committing. They're coming to campus, they're getting to know you as sophomores and juniors, making decisions, traveling around, getting to see places, and you know, they know where they want to go to school. And when they're done with their senior year, you know, they're ready to move on, some of them. And, you know, whether, I think it works for some guys and some guys, you know, it doesn't. But you take our junior college mid-year guys, they understand, you know, it was important for us to get the offensive line junior college guys in here at mid-year, because it's hard to play at that position coming in the fall. in the summer just going through it. But now you've got the spring and spring football practice, conditioning, and really 2 sets of practices to get a couple of those guys ready to go, which we're going to need to do. I think obviously Kyle graduating early, making a statement that he wants to compete for the starting quarterback role, and which gives him spring football and fall camp, and then Speedy also. And so those guys made a decision to do that a while ago during the recruiting process, and that didn't matter where they were going to go to school. They had that mindset of where they were going to go. They were going to go somewhere early and be there to compete to play. So yeah, it helps. It helps a lot, and you know, I think you're going to see more and more of that.
Out front here.
What was your first impression of Miles Garrett?
As a football player,
Yes.
really good. I was even more impressed when I went to watch him play basketball about 2 weeks ago. When I was on his visit, it's kind of interesting because his sister helped us recruit him. She's already here for y'all who don't know. Maria is here with our track program, so I bugged her a lot and bugged his parents a lot, and we had everybody but him for a long time. And every time he'd get close to saying he was going to come to school here, he would get really quiet and just drop his head. And I wouldn't push him because I didn't want to scare him away. But I went to see him play basketball. After he committed, I said, well, you can't hoop. You don't know what you're doing. You're a blue lineman. You know, you don't see many linemen. And so I went over and went to the game, and, you know, he's out there running around like a deer. I mean, he's huge. And catches the ball off the rim, comes down in the middle, and this guy's just drifting over to the street up. And he turned, he ran in the court, and he pointed at me and said, I said, I really like this guy. I'm a fan. So, you know, he's explosive. He's right at 260 now. You know, when he was on his visit, you know, he was 258 or so. And he took off his shirt after the game, and he, like I said, he looks like he had a Batman costume. You know, it's put together like crazy. So he's, you know, there's a reason why he's ranked where he is, and he's a guy that's got tremendous upside, and what we need, you know, is an edge threat, and he's probably physically mature enough that he can, you know, we'll see where he is with playing the run, but he's real explosive off the edge, and anybody who watched that All-Star game playing against the other best players in the country, they're having a hard time blocking. So, you know, that's all encouraging for us.